Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ramadan with Zidane. Today is the 14th of Ramadan, and hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy, and wise, and everyone is having the best time in Ramadan, getting the rahmas and barakas of this blessed month, and of course, staying close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope everyone has been praying salat properly, giving zakat, and fasting very steadfastly on the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I hope everyone has been staying steadfast, as it is said in Surah Ahqaf, which is the 14th surah of the Quran, which is the 46th surah of the Quran, and it's in its 14th verse. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا جَزَاءً بِمَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. So I hope everyone has been going on that example, and everyone has been using the Salat and of course the Holy Quran, that is a divine revelation, the best of all the books that has been set down upon us. And I hope everyone has been using that as a guidance for the people, as it said in Surah Talaq, لِلَّذِينَ لِيُخْرِجَ النَّاسُ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. So I hope everyone has been doing the same, and they have been on their way to the right path. We are starting Surah Hud again. It's the fourth part, from verse number 96 till 123. It is the 11th surah of the Quran. It has 123 verses, and its sequence, it is the 52nd surah of the Quran to be revealed, and it has 10 rukus. As we know, this surah is a surah paired with Surah Yunus, and of course, it's one of the surahs, the pair, which has taskin bi Yamillah, and in that, stories of prophets are being told. So let's continue as we left off from the story of Shuaib alayhi salam. Without further ado, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Walaqad arsalna Musa bi ayatina wa sultanin mubin. And we sent Musa alayhi salam with our verses and a clear proof, of course, a miracle. Illa Fir'auna wa malaihi, towards Fir'aun and his people and his chiefs, like Haman, who was also his advisor. Fa'atma amru Fir'aun, but they followed the word of Fir'aun. Now, in different surahs, it has been described what Fir'aun said. For example, in Surah Zukhruf, I reckon, قال يا قوم أليس لي ملك مصر وهذه الأنهار تجري من تحتي أفلا تبصرون أم أنا خير من هذا الذي هو مهين ولا يكاد يبين فلولا ألقي عليه أسورة من ذهب أو جاء معه الملائكة مقترنين فاستخف قومه فأطاعوه إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين فلما آسفونا انتقمنا منهم فأغرقناهم أجمعين فجعلناهم سلفا ومثلا للآخر. That is in Surah Zukhruf. Just like this, he was saying that again his pride. He said that why isn't there any angel being sent down? Just like the same thing that's in Surah Furqan. وقال الذين كفروا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة ونرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وأتوا عتوا كبيرا. So they're saying, why isn't an angel sent? But again, it is the messenger's duty to be a human, to eat and drink and go to the market, as it is said in Surah Furqan. وما أرسلنا قبلك من المرسلين إلا أنهم ليأكلون الطعام ويمشون في الأسواق وجعلنا بعضكم لبعض فتنة أتصبرون وكان ربك بصيرا. And this was the biggest problem that people had. They said that why is there a person as a messenger? Why isn't there some kind of divine entity? As it said in Surah Mu'minun, يَأْكُلُ مِمَّا تَأْكُلُونَ مِنْهُ وَيَشْرَبُ مِمَّا تَشْرَبُونَ وَلَئِنْ أَطَعْتُمْ بَشَرًا مِثْلَكُمْ إِنَّكُمْ إِذًا لَخَاسِرُونَ يَخْدُمُ قَوْمُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَأَوْرَدَهُمُ النَّارَ وَبِئْسَ الْوِرْدُ الْمَوْرُودُ. And indeed, on the day of judgment, when the recompensing will happen, he will be the one who will lead his people, because he was the one who was the chief of them, and he will lead the people who disbelieved into the hellfire on the day of resurrection. As like every chief will lead the people who have disbelieved on the day of resurrection. وَأُتْبِعُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا لَعْنَةً وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. And they were cursed in this world, and they will be cursed in the other world too. بِئْسُ الرِّفْدُ الْمَرْفُودُ. And this curse will be the worst. Of course, those people who, it's in Surah Sajda, وَلَنُذِيقَنَّهُمْ عَذَابَ الْأَدْنَى دُونَ عَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. It's in Surah Sajda. So they are also given the torment of the world, as there were a lot of torments and locusts were sent down, and that's why the crops were destroyed and the rivers were filled of blood. These kind of things occurred. ذَلِكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ. Now, after all of these stories that have been told over the past 100 verses, the 100 verse, ذَلِكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الْقُرَى نَقُصُّهَا عَلَيْكَ قَائِمٌ حَسِيدٌ. And these are all of the stories that we can relate to you, because these are of the population. Some of them are standing and some of them have been destroyed. Like some areas like Madian, where Madian, the town of Aika was, people still live there, as it is modern day Akawa. just like this Nineveh turned into Mosul. But then there are some areas like Ad, Samud, the Qawm of Lut that destroyed completely, and even after their destruction, no one was ever no one has ever let it to live there. The 101st verse now. وَمَا ظَلَمْنَاهُمْ, and we did not wrong them, وَلَكِنْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُم. They wronged themselves by their own ignorance. فَمَا أَغْنَتْ عَنْكُمْ فَمَا أَغْنَتْ عَنْهُم. So um, it's not gonna have any benefit to them. آلهتهم التي يدعون من دون الله من شيء لما جاء ربك, that they call onto those people from other from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even when the proof has been come. The messenger is sent as a way of proof. وَمَا زَادُوهُمْ غَيْرَ تَتْبِيبٍ, and they did not add anything except destruction to their Lord. وَكَذَلِكَ أَخَذُ رَبِّكَ إِذَا أَخَذُ الْقُرَى وَهِيَ ظَالِمَةٌ إِنَّ أَخَذُهَا عَلِيمٌ شَدِيدٌ. And indeed, when your Lord seizes that town that disbelieves, indeed the seizure is very painful and very severe. Inna fi dhalika la ayatan liman khafa azab al-akhir. Indeed, this is a very clear sign to those people who actually fear, who know the signs and they fear the day of judgment. ذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَجْمُومٌ لَهُ النَّاسِ. That is a day when everybody in the whole world will be collected in one place. وَذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَشْهُودٌ. And on that day, everything in the earth will be present as a witness, even our own body parts, as it is said. وقالوا لجلودهم لما شهدتم علينا قالوا أنطقنا الله الذي ينطق كل شيء وهو خلقكم أول مرة وإليه ترجعون وما نؤخره إلا لأجل معدود. And we do not delay it, it's only at a fixed term. يوم يأتي لا تكلم نفس إلا بإذنه. Whenever that day will come, no person will speak up except إلا بإذنه, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. فمنهم شقي وسعيد. Now in these people there will be two heads, one will be the wretched and other will be the blessed. فأما الذين شكوا في النار لهم فيها زفير وشهيق. Now those people who are cursed, who are wretched, they will be in the fire and they will be lamenting that why weren't we sent back, why aren't we sent back, why did we do so much bad. They will say that وأنفقوا من قبل وأنفقوا مما رزقناكم, it's in Surah Munafiqun, من قبل أن يأتي أحدكم الموت. So spend from what we have given you before comes to you the death. فَيَقُولُ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَّرْتَنِي إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ فَأَصَدَّقَ وَأَكُن مِّنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. So he says, oh my Lord, why don't you give me respite and send me back to that time so that I can become from those who are the righteous. خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا مَا دَامَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ رَبُّكَ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ فَعَّالٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ. They will dwell in there forever. And indeed, your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your Lord, is the dweller, is the willer of what he wants. He wills and it happens. Kun fayakun. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ سُعِدُوا, and those people who are the blessed, فَفِي الْجَنَّةِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا مَا دَامَتِ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ رَبُّكَ عَطَاءٌ غَيْرُ مَجْذُوذٍ. And those people who are the believers, they will be in the heavens forever. And that is a gift without an end. And again, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. فَلَا تَكُ فِي مِرْيَةٍ, so do not become in any kind of doubt. مِمَّا يَعْبُدُ هَؤُلَاءِ, from what they worship. مَا يَعْبُدُونَ, don't think that don't get in any doubt whether they are on the right path. Ma ya'buduna, they only worship illa kama ya'budu aba'uhum min qabl, except what they used to see from those people who used to worship from before. Wa inna linuwaffuhum nusibahum ghayra manqus, and indeed we will repay them in full portion for what they used to do. So indeed the ajr of the akhirah, it's gonna be given in full measure. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ فَاخْتُلِفَ فِيهِ. This is what is also in almost in Surah Fusilat. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ, and we gave Musa alayhi salam the book, the Torah. فَاخْتُلِفَ فِيهِ, and then they started to make faraiq, they started to make differences. And this is a thing very important. You can see Bani Israel were also on the right path, but then they started making different kinds of sects. The sectarianism consumed Bani Israel, and Bani Israel were cursed. Just like this, unfortunately, in Islam, in these days, people have started making sects and they have started planting the sectarian division. And it is in Surah Maryam very clearly. فَتَقَطَّعُوا أَمْرَهُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ زُبُرًا كُلُّ حِزْبٍ بِمَا لَدَيْهِمْ فَرِحُونَ. فَذَرْهُمْ, it's in Surah Mu'minun actually. فَتَقَطَّعُوا أَمْرَهُمْ بَيْنَهُمْ زُبُرًا كُلُّ حِزْبٍ بِمَا لَدَيْهِمْ فَرِحُونَ. So they made the sects between them and everyone was happy with their own sect. فَذَرْهُمْ فِي غَمْرَتِهِمْ حَتَّى حِينٍ. So leave them in their error and astray for a little bit of time. وَإِنَّ كُلًّا لَمَّا لِيُوَفِّيهِمْ رَبُّكَ أَعْمَالَهُمْ إِنَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. And indeed everyone, will be repaid their work in full. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what they used to do. فَاسْتَقِمْ كَمَا أُمِرْتَ وَمَنْ تَابَ مَعَكَ وَلَا تَطْغَوْا إِنَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. So stay steadfast and do not go on those people who astray. Indeed, you are the one who is going to be victorious. وَلَا تَرْكَنُوا إِلَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا فَتَمَسَّكُمُ النَّارِ. And do not by any way show lenience to the disbelievers, because the fire will consume you. Do not go towards those. They are your enemies, even though you are in the same society as them. They are not the believers. They are the Hizbul Shaitan. Ulaika Hizbul Shaitan. Ala inna Hizbul Shaitani humul khasirun. وَمَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِنْ أَوْلِيَاءَ ثُمَّ لَا تُنصَرُونَ. And you will not have any person who will save you. So beware, be wary. وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ طَرَفَيَ النَّهَارِ وَزُلَفًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ إِنَّ الْحَسَنَةَ يُذْهِبَنَّ السَّيِّئَاتِ ذَلِكَ ذِكْرًا لِلذَّاكِرِينَ. And perform the salat at the two ends of the day, which is of course the start, which is Fajr, and the end Asr, Zohar, and of course in some hours of the night, which is of course Isha and Maghrib, the 5 compulsory prayers. Indeed, the good deeds, they remove the small evil sins. This is the thing again. The good deeds, they cleanse the small evils. وَاصْبِرْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And indeed be patient, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always rewards the good doers. Now, the last example that is given here of prophets, that some of the, for the generations before you, there was one prophet who differed. فَلَوْلَا كَانَ مِنَ الْقُرُونِ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ فَلَوْلَا كَانَ مِنَ الْقُرُونِ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ أُولُو بَقِيَّةٍ يَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْفَسَادِ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِمَّا أَنْجَيْنَا مِنْهُمْ. So from those generations before you, there were some who did fasad and they spread trials in the earth, some who did rebellion, some who did corruption. وَاتَّبَعَ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مَا أُتْرِفُوا فِيهِ وَمَا كَانُوا مُجْرِمِينَ. And they pursued, why did they do this? Because they pursued the enjoyment of this world in exchange for the hereafter. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُخْلِقَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ إِلَّا وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ لِيُخْلِقَ الْقُرَى بِظُلْمٍ وَأَهْلُهَا مُصْلِحُونَ. And your Lord would never destroy those people who actually do good. It's when the root, the like a decay, the disbelief takes root, then what happens is some troubles. وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَجَعَلَ النَّاسَ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا وَلَا يَزَالُونَ مُخْتَلِفِينَ. And if your Lord would have willed, He would have made everyone a believer. But this is the difference between people and angels, that angels do not have free will. فَإِنِ اسْتَكْبَرُوا فَالَّذِينَ عِندَ رَبِّكَ يُسَبِّحُونَ بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ وَهُمْ لَا يَسْأَمُونَ. But people have been given the choice to differentiate between right and wrong, as it is in Surah Dahr. Inna hadaynahu sabila imma shakiran wa imma kufura. Illa man rahima rabbik. Except those who, again, the people who do not get disbelieved, are those who your Lord has put a special mercy on. وَلِذَلِكَ خَلَقَهُمْ. And that's why we created them, to worship. وَتَمَّتْ كَلِمَةُ رَبِّكَ لَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ أَجْمَعِينَ. And the word of your Lord will be fulfilled, that indeed I will fill this Jahannam, this hell, with the people and jinn who are disbelievers. وَكُلًّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ مِنْ أَنْبَاءِ الرُّسُلِ. And these are all we are again the same revision has been given, the retrospect. Indeed, we again tell you of the stories of the prophets. مَا نُثَبِّتُ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. This is a way to strengthen your heart. وَجَاءَكَ فِي هَذِهِ الْحَقِّ. And to know that you are not the only one, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are also in the line of many people who have come with the truth. وَمَوْعِظَةٌ وَذِكْرَى لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And a reminder for the believers. وَقُلْ لِلَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ اعْمَلُوا عَلَى مَكَانَتِكُمْ إِنِّي عَامِلٌ. And say to those people who disbelieve, that you do what you want, we are also waiting. You do what you want, we are also doing our own jobs. We are gonna wait. وَانْتَظِرُوا إِنَّا مُنْتَظِرُونَ. And indeed you wait, we are also waiting. وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا أَمْرُ السَّاعَةِ وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And to Allah is the unseen of the heavens and the earth. وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُ الْأَمْرُ كُلُّ. And towards Him returns every kind of matter. فَعْبُدْهُ وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَيْهِ. So put your trust in Him and worship Him. وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And your Lord is knowing whatever you do, every small thing. This is going to be the end of this surah, Surah Hud. And inshallah tomorrow we're going to be covering Surah Yunus, which is the 10th surah of the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to become the Ashabul Jannah, from as-sabiqun as-sabiqun. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those people who enter Jannah, and those people who upon who said, Salamun alaykum, peace be upon you. रब्बना अतमिम लना नूरना वगफिर लना इन्नका अला कुल्ली शैइन कदीर। रब्बना ला तजअलना फितनतल लिल्लज़ीना कफरू वगफिर लना रब्बना इन्नका अंतल अज़ीज़ुल हकीम। हुवल्लाहुल खालिकुल बारी वल मुसव्विर लहुल अस्माउल हुस्ना युसब्बिहु लहु मा फिस समावाति व मा फिल अर्द व हुवल अज़ीज़ुल हकीम। अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।